Hey folks, rickylakemusic here. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing great. I bought a guitar quite a few months ago. It's an EPIPHONE Masterbilt Texan. Supposed to be a really good guitar. It turned out this guitar had a host of problems. The CNC work was off just enough so one of these tuning arrays is like too close to the headstock, so it's off. So that was one thing. And they told me when I bought it, it was used. I didn't realize used meant reject. Reject, that's what it means. There's two little fingerprint marks right there. They said this is the problem. This is why we rejected it. No, that is a lie. That is not why. There's a host of problems on these things. First of all, it's this CNC work here that had a wonky tuner array. I don't care about that. And I don't care about just because there's a little mark right there. I hope y'all can see that. I mean, it's just a little smudge mark. I don't care about that. I just wanted it to be playable. This was not playable at all because, yeah, I'll show you right there. There's a U stamp there. I didn't realize it meant a reject. So because it was rejected, the fret ends were like sharp. The frets themselves were up and down, and it was totally unbalanced on the sound. I blamed everything but what it was because I didn't know. I mean, I was horrified because I'd spent so much money on this guitar. First thing I did was put a bad review on where I bought it from. And the guy, Ray Hill Audio, he says, "Oh man, if you'll take that bad review off, I'll give you 10% off." I said, "Okay, all right, okay." That was $68.90. Okay, that's a start. Okay, I'm working on a fix. So then I could play it, but I ain't satisfied with this thing, man. I've had some of the finest guitars in the world. I ain't trying to brag. I'm just trying to let y'all know that I've had some really, really good guitars. I mean, perfectly made guitars. This is not one of them. Now it is, because I fixed everything that's wrong with this thing. The first thing I did was take out the Fishman stuff. There's nothing wrong with the Fishman stuff. It's fine. Nothing against the Fishman folks. I just wanted to get an LR bags with a microphone, so I put that in there. Actually, I couldn't even find one of them. It was a clone, but it sounds great, but not with the piezo. I said, oh man, so there was still an unbalanced problem in the strings with the piezo, but it sounded great. Just the mic in the body of the guitar. Yeah, the high E was a little light. So that was a problem the whole time. There was no high E in the piezo. So don't lie and realize you got to have tools to work with. So I found somebody that said take a block in there and just make sure your slot is level. So I thought you had to have a router and all that stuff, so I didn't even consider that. I did everything else, but I sanded my saddle where it was nice and square, man. I mean, I made sure that thing was square. Still didn't solve. I took the strings on and off many, many times, and it still didn't fix nothing. I went online, and this guy said, okay, make sure your slot's good. So what you'd want to do is you make your block, and you sand your slot. I said, a block? I ain't got nothing to make a block with. I mean, I don't have a router. I mean, you got to like do all that stuff. I ain't got nothing to work with. He said, no. What you do is you just, first of all, you find your block set. I said, okay, I'm going to go find me a block. And I got me a reflector. Found a piece this big. And it was square, perfectly square. It was too fat to go in the slot. So I sanded it and tried to make it as good as I could because I knew that this side was absolutely square and flat. So I got me one. It goes in the slot. It goes in there well, but it's not loose. So I just worked it. But what the guy said first was, he said, you take a pencil and you carve that thing so it'll fit down in that slot, and you mark the whole bottom of the slot with that pencil. So I did. He said, now you run that thing across there a couple times. So I already had some sticky sandpaper. I got several different kinds. So what I did, I cut some strips out that would fit this thing exactly. So I made this with just a little skinnier than the saddle. And I cut some strips out, and of course this got sticky on the back, so I just stuck it right to it, and I worked that slot. After I'd marked it, I just went back and forth, full strokes, as straight and as level as I could get the strokes. I really tried to do a good job, folks. Just a few passes, and I looked, and you could see that a lot of the pencil mark was gone on, I'll say, 5/6 of the slot, except right there on the end where the high E is. It was still marked up and most of the pencil was gone from the rest. I said, okay, that's the problem. There was a little low spot there. It was insane. I said, oh man, that was the problem the whole freaking time. So I just kept doing long strokes and just kept working on it. I didn't press real hard. I just kept working on it. Every time my little block got full of dust, I would just brush it off and just go right back to work. I would blow it out like that, but I did get my vacuum out when I was done and vacuumed up every little particle in there, okay? And I eventually got it all. I could not believe it. So I put it all back together. And this is what it sounds like, folks. I learned how to do a fret job. I learned how to install an electronics system. And I learned how to repair a slot. And I'm richer for it. And I spent very little money. Here's my tool. That's one tool. I made this tool from a reflector. And look, okay, once you file the frets, you got to crown them. And so this file, I tried it. No good. I couldn't make that thing work. Then I tried this file. No good. I couldn't make that work. But I made this little simple little block of wood work. It's square on the bottom, and this is a 45-degree angle. And I would just run it across it, just like that. And I cut these little strips out. Where's one of my little strips? So I would make these little strips just wide enough to fit right there on the bottom. And it worked perfectly. I had little, it looked like black thread on every one of these. Straight black thread. It took me a little while because I didn't know what I was doing. It took me months to learn, months to gather the confidence I would need to get this done, and it works perfectly. It's perfectly in tune now. I fixed every issue with this guitar. Now I have a $1,000 guitar. I do not have a piece of junk anymore. I got something I can take to Nashville, and I'm gratified. I can't believe it, really. I feel like my wish has come true. Now I've got a great guitar. Let me play a song for you. Hank Williams Sr. I really like that cat. Your cheating heart make you weep. You'll cry and cry, oh, and try to sleep, oh, sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you when tears start down like falling rain. You'll toss around, oh, and call my name. You'll walk that floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. So I sanded the saddle. First of all, that didn't resolve nothing. Then I sanded the slot. Lo and behold, now I'm going to do the tap test. And you're going to hear it with your own ears how I've improved it. Now, at first, you couldn't, the high E string was dead. So I'm going to start with the low E and just work my way down. And hear with your ears, okay? It's exactly the same all the way across. I have resolved my issue, folks, and I could not be happier. Man, I thought I had a piece of junk. Now I've got a $1,000 guitar. I made tools, folks. Out of nothing, out of junk. I made tools out of junk. But because there's so many highly intelligent people online, and I got to give credit to all those folks online. Because of those folks, who were so kind enough to put it online. So I had to put it online to show y'all that you do not have to be stuck with a piece of junk guitar. You can learn these skills. Hey, what do you think of the way this sounds? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all soon. Hear the high E. I got a high E, folks.